Open Line with Tami Heidi.
This is Open Line. My name is Tami Heidi, and joining me is Lisa Daggett Cummings. She is the Director of Development at South Bay Children's Health Center. Thanks for joining us on Open Line.
Thank you so much, Tami.
Well, there's some specific challenges, I'm guessing, during this pandemic, so let's address them. And I like that it's dental and mental health that you're concerned with. You did that to attract people because it rhymes and it makes people interested.
Well, that wasn't exactly why we did it. We have been offering services for kids and teens since 1947. We were founded right after after World War II, recently after World War II had ended. And we were founded in order to fill gaps in healthcare services. So we started with dental and provided dental care to kids in need, kids that whose families did not have income to pay for care. We added different services along the way. In 1967, in the very colorful 60s, we added mental health services at the request of LA Child Guidance Center. There were families that just couldn't get to LA and needed mental health services. So other services kind of went away. Our sole focus is on dental and mental health. And one of the things that you might not know is that there's actually a strong association between dental and mental health in that there is a exposure to childhood adversity and poor dental health correlation. So kids that have as many as 4 adverse childhood experiences, there is definitely showing in it. There's an increase that's shown in dental health.
Help me understand a little better the correlation between dental health and mental health then.
Well, so children can be impacted by what's called adverse childhood experiences, and that can be trauma, it can be divorce. There's many different things that are considered as an adverse childhood experience. And there has been a study, at least one study, that shows a very strong association between the number of adverse childhood experiences and dental issues.
Huh, okay.
Particularly the prevalence of tooth loss.
Okay.
So I know it sounds like a stretch, but there is definitely some study. The other thing that is really critical to remember is that mental health and dental really impact a child's self-esteem. And if a child's in pain, if a child is having mental health issues, they can't do well in school. They can't, and then there's a chance of very poor success outcomes.
So you can't focus. Yeah, if you're in pain from not having dental care, then
absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, how am I supposed to get this math problem then? So, at the South Bay Children's Health Center, you've been filling in the gaps since 1947, and
yes,
literally with the dental, I guess, and also the gaps in mental health care.
Absolutely.
And people sometimes, I guess, maybe because I don't necessarily, maybe because I'm not a mom that I know of, but don't necessarily think, oh, kids need mental health care.
Right.
So it's just having an awareness, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So
absolutely, and mental health issues. There's a stigma behind the term mental health. Mm-hmm. Mental health and wellness is important for everybody, and at least over the last several years, the incidence of mental health issues has grown exponentially, and there is a shortage of good care. The families that we serve, who are on primarily Medi-Cal and Denti-Cal, which is Medi-Cal's dental counterpart, if you will, they are living, many are working poor. They're living on low incomes. They have trouble accessing quality care. And while Denti-Cal and Medi-Cal is their insurance, their method of insurance, accessing it and finding good quality care providers is really a challenge. So, yeah, dental and mental health is very critical. It's two of the largest unmet health needs in the South Bay, and really, really important.
We're talking with Lisa Daggett Cummings. She's the Director of Development at South Bay Children's Health Center. They are serving low-income and underserved children and youth for dental and mental health. And so I'm wondering if you could talk about if there are some specific challenges during this COVID-19, the coronavirus pandemic. Are people scared to even go to a dentist?
Absolutely. And every time I hear the term new normal, I cringe a little bit because I hope that this is not the new normal. Our agency adapted quickly and in different ways depending on the mental health side or the dental side. On the dental side, March 13th came and we really had to immediately shut our doors at the recommendation of the CDC, our clinic doors, the recommendation of the CDC, the California Dental Association, and the American Dental Association. We saw emergency patients only in an abundance of care and caution, but we really wanted to keep kids out of the emergency room. That was our ultimate goal. And unfortunately, kids without access to dental care will end up in a hospital emergency room with a bad infection. So that's on the dental side. We now have opened slowly after 10 weeks. We are taking kids' temperature, staff temperature. We're using an abundance of personal protective equipment for staff. Families need to wait in the car unless they have a young child. If they have a young child, they are able to wait outside the treatment room door. On the mental health side, everything moved quickly to telehealth. So all of the services that we provide are done using telehealth, which is telephone, video conference. And right away, as soon as things started to shift, we really started to see some stories come out about the families and what they were going through. They blew me away. There was a family who we were trying to get in for mental health services, and the mom said, to see a therapist by telephone. And the mom said, I have to go out in an Uber. I can't find protein for my kids. I'm giving them protein bars. We have families that have lost their housing. We have families that were already in financial crisis, and it's just exacerbated. And we know that there is going to be an even wider gap where many more families may end up on Denti-Cal and Medi-Cal. And again, access issues are challenging on those programs.
I'm guessing that maybe suicide prevention efforts have stepped up. Because this pandemic, there's isolation issues and the other things that we've already talked about. So,
absolutely, we're seeing some of that, an increase in suicide, an increase in depression and anxiety. And you have to remember that the clients that we were seeing before already had mental health concerns. And now you've got so much more that they're dealing with. Simple things like rites of passage. They can't go to their promotion ceremony. There's no graduation. They're celebrating a birthday. They can't go out. Many of our families are on such low incomes that they don't have access to technology. And all of the school has shifted to technology. Some families, parents are not English-speaking as their first language. So it becomes a challenge for them to help their kids with homework. Just so much stuff going on.
And so what do you tell people? What do you do? What's the
answer?
Yeah. What's the solution? You're supposed to have answers for me, Lisa.
Yeah, I would love to tell you that there's an easy one, but really there isn't. What I would say is that mental health is so important, and the services that we offer, and I'll give you a great example of why funding these programs is so important. The services we offer, we can't offer more services to additional people given our current staffing and current funding rate. Hopefully at some point in the future we'll be able to. But there are services out there, and what I would encourage everybody with any kind of mental health concern is reach out. You can reach out to us for a referral. There's organizations out there like NAMI, here in the South Bay, Beach Cities Health District. There's other places that do provide services, and it's really important that you reach out. Families are experiencing all kinds of things that they weren't before, and having that connection. You talked about isolation. That's one of the biggest challenges right now is everybody's at home. The domestic violence rate and child abuse rates publicly are going down, which is, if you think about it, that's not a good thing. The reason why those rates are going down is because educators, people that run community-based organizations, those were the mandated reporters. Now families experiencing domestic violence, child abuse, they're at home under lock and key. So having programs like ours allows those families to get some support. Therapists are still connecting. They're connecting online. They're connecting in person. So all of these things are so critical.
And all happening at the same time. We've been talking with Lisa Daggett Cummings. She's the Director of Development at South Bay Children's Health Center, and they deal with dental and mental health. And I found it curious that in general, the health system here in this country, we divvy it up into parts, human parts. Like, so we've got the dental over here, and that isn't covered by this. And then we've got mental health. Well, you have to go here. And it's like, well, let's get to the whole person, because it all ties in, as we've been saying during this pandemic, we're all in this together. Well, all the human body parts we try and get them to work at optimum level together,
right?
And deal with the overall health. So
you said in our country, just in California, there's a child advocacy organization called Children Now, and they issue this amazingly interesting report card. They just issued their 2020 report card, and it talks about the fact that all kids need to reach their full potential, and they look at all of the health and wellness tools available and kind of look at how they give them a grade. And what I find interesting in California, just looking at access to care, access to insurance, and then dental and mental health, and they grade us on so many different things. We have the state gets an A for access to insurance. We have Medi-Cal and Medi-Cal, but unfortunately, because there aren't enough providers that accept it, and there aren't enough places where families can receive quality care, the grades for the specific services aren't as high. So, for example, our state gets a D for behavioral health services, mental health services. We have, I think, a C- for access to care. Our dental now has the C-, and that's up from where it was just 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago it had a D+. But I'm always amazed because we're in California. We're in California, and there's such disparity. There is such disparity between people that can access quality care and that can't. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so grateful that we're here. We have amazing staff. We've got an amazing board. We have great services. And I just hope that we're here for another 73 years.
Yes, I hope you are too, and longer. Well, thank you, Lisa Daggett Cummings from South Bay Children's Health Center, the Director of Development. How can people get in touch? How can people maybe help?
Our phone number is 310-316-1212. We will answer the phone or call you immediately back. And our website is www.sbchc.com.
You can make a song out of that.
I know, right?
SBCHC. Okay. .com.
And we encourage you to call.
Okay.
I would look very forward to that. We are also going to be holding a fundraiser, which is a virtual run. As you probably know, many organizations are having to take their special events and turn them into virtual special events, and we will have that up on our website probably within the next week. So that's going to give people an opportunity to get out and do a 5K run out in their favorite place safely in a healthy manner and post their results and help us raise some money for some pretty awesome services.
Well, that sounds great. I'm excited about that. And I thank you for making some time for Open Line. Lisa Daggett Cummings from the South Bay Children's Health Center. Thanks for all you do for mental and dental health for underserved youth.
Thank you so much.
This is Open Line.